I'm just ready to play football at this point. The draft's finally done. I finally have the team. So,
well, for me, it's always prove those guys wrong and prove the people that trust in you, believe in you, and love you, prove them right.
Needless to say, we're super excited to add two really good players and two guys that we can add to this defense and continue to grow that unit.
You got to play good defense. I mean, I'm all in, so I'm excited about this.
I'm excited. I'm excited to be a Chief.
I'm ready to go tomorrow.
Well, immediately after round one of the draft was over last night, Andy Reid and Brett Veach spoke to the media, as well as our new cornerback Trent McDuffie and edge George Karlaftis. So let's take a look at these in a condensed, concise manner real quick. But first, how about those? What's up, guys? My name is Cole, and I do daily news about the Chiefs and the NFL overall, so sub if you're new, hit that like button if you think Coach Reid had a big old burger last night after the draft ended, and let's get into these pressers. On the subject of food, one of the first things Coach Reid was asked about when he sat down was how excited Coach Spags and the defensive coaches were about the players that they got last night, and he said this.
I mean, Herbie, he's ready to take you out to dinner right now. He's fired up.
So yeah, everyone seemed very excited, including me, even though I was surprised that there was an intentional focus of making calculated upgrades on the defensive side of the ball. Brett Veach sat down saying the board fell just about as expected, and he's excited that they were able to pick up both George and McDuffie. The first thing he pointed out about both of them is their age. We know for Brett Veach, it seems the younger the better, because once they hit about 28 or so and they aren't a QB or Travis Kelce, they are out of here.
Get him out of here. Throw him out.
Opie, I think I'm getting too old for this stuff.
Brett Veach said in his pre-draft presser that they had about 16 to 18 round one guys on their board, and if one of them were to still be available at a realistic place to trade up, they would certainly be willing to do that. Well, in last night's presser, he doubled down on that and said they were committed to being selectively aggressive because they didn't want to trade up a lot of their picks from rounds 2, 3, and 4, where they've been able to find a lot of success. Think of Nick Bolton and Creed Humphrey, for example. Well, this is exactly what they did. They were strategically aggressive with Trent McDuffie.
Every year we go through every scenario possible, and we didn't go over McDuffie's scenario. I don't think we thought he'd be there, and certainly some of the trades and even the player trades that happened today, I think, impacted that.
So yeah, the Titans traded wideout A.J. Brown to the Eagles, and the Eagles signed Brown to a 4-year, $100 million extension in exchange for pick number 18, and the Titans picked up wide receiver Treylon Burks, who interestingly enough has a lot of similarities to A.J. Brown. And then the Ravens traded away their wideout Marquise Brown to the Arizona Cardinals in exchange for the Cardinals' first-round pick, in which they eventually drafted Iowa center Tyler Linderbaum. Cardinals seem to have won that trade in my opinion, but hey, it is what it is. Anyway, these trades are what Brett Veach is talking about here and how it affected the board. They did not, I repeat, did not expect McDuffie to still be around in the late teens, and when they traded up to get him at 21, they were very surprised he was still there and knew for a fact pretty much that he would not be there at 29 because teams like the Bills, who also traded up just after the Chiefs and grabbed Kaiir Elam, needed a good corner as well. So they went ahead and made the move for him.
Hey, how you doing?
You excited to be a Kansas City Chief?
Man, I'm so turned right now.
Are you healthy and ready to roll?
I'm ready to go, Coach. I'm ready to go.
All of a sudden, my family starts screaming, and I run inside. And of course, my name popped up on the screen, and everybody started screaming. I was like, give me a second, Coach.
And if you would have asked Veach who their first selection in the draft would have been, he said it probably wouldn't have been McDuffie. I mean, honestly, they had very little conversations with him and didn't show much interest in him either leading up to the draft because they simply thought he'd be gone long before they'd even have a chance to use their picks. McDuffie confirmed as much when he said,
Talked to him at the Combine, actually. Had a informal interview with them, spoke with the DC, Spagnolia. But then after that, didn't really have too much communication. So when I got that phone call, it was like, whoa. Kansas City, like, this is dope. So it was exciting when I got that phone call for sure.
In spite of that, though, you could tell Brett Veach and Andy Reid thought a lot about him.
Trent's a guy that can come in here day one. He's wired the right way, extreme, knowledge of the game, 3-year player, 3-year starter. And it was, certainly a position that we wanted to address.
He's a heck of a player, fast, good size, great ball skills, loves to play the game. Extremely smart.
And I found it funny that Andy Reid said McDuffie had great size because he's on the smaller side for a corner, to be honest. I mean, maybe Veach just straight up lied to Big Red because he wanted McDuffie so badly.
Liar! liar!
But seriously, when asked about the size concern, because we have been trending to larger bodied corners, and McDuffie is only 5'11", 194 pounds and under 30-inch arms, Coach said he's got enough size for the position, and Veach responded saying it's easy to nitpick things like that, but at the end of the day, it's hard to find someone that is both the right size and a great player. You'll always want a combo of both, but McDuffie is going to be great here in KC. And McDuffie himself acknowledged the fact that he's a bit smaller, but compared himself to someone like Tyrann Matthew, someone who can play all over the secondary, and that
He was one of those dudes where he wasn't the biggest, he wasn't the fastest, but he was always going to make a play. And that's something that I always try to do in my game, is just be that person who's going to flash on the screen. You know, be that guy who's always around the football, because I'm a football player and I want to create the best opportunities for my team.
And Veach said he was a player valuable enough that they weren't sure they were going to find someone close to that level of talent, especially with their next pick. At least he was talking about in the later rounds, so their next pick being pick 50. Coach Reid is excited that we got McDuffie.
We had targeted those guys and felt like they would be there in that area. We weren't sure about McDuffie. You know, that's why we went up and took him. But I'm excited that we got a corner. Very seldom do you have the highest guy on the board at that time for us, and then it'd be a position of need.
And it's not often that you find a guy that good still left on the board. He mentioned for now that they'd like to see him play on the outside because of his skill level, but yes, he seemed very excited about Trent. Both Veach and Coach were ecstatic about the fact that they were able to get two players that were both highly ranked on their board and also were both great positions of need for the team. And from there, they shifted their focus onto their second pick and said, going into the draft, they knew that there was some good depth at the D-line position and felt confident that they'd find the right guy. Well, it looks like their guy was George Karlaftis, which I know a lot of Chiefs fans weren't the happiest in the world about, but hey, it was clear to them from the research and study they've done that this is who they wanted.
And then you talk about George. This is a guy that didn't play a lot of football.
I've only been playing football for about 6-7 years now.
Picked it up quick, though, and came on strong at Purdue. Another young guy that has a relentless motor.
It's relentless. You know, I get after the quarterback. I stop the run. And I feel like I'm a three-down player. I'm an all-around player that could do everything and anything that's asked.
And even though some people criticized him on TV here, does a great job pass rushing. He does great against the run game. He's strong. He knows how to play the game. He's got a great feel for things. You're going to love him. He is high octane, this guy, man.
Obviously, I'm going to start off as the lowest man on the totem pole and work my way up. You know, I'm going to earn my stripes and work as hard as I possibly can. So I'm really excited to develop, to be under, you know, great system, have great teammates, great organization. I couldn't have asked to be in a better situation.
Coach Cullen and Coach Spags are going to be able to take him to the next level, and he's a guy that can play all along the line. And his upside was something that you're sitting there pick 30. I mean, that we felt that was good value there.
And it looks like after they picked McDuffie at 21 and before they picked George at 30, they actually got a call from at least one team about trading back a bit, and they even entertained the option to stock up on some more draft picks, but felt like even if they moved back a little, Karlaftis wouldn't be there. So they stuck to their guns, didn't try and get too cute with things, and picked the guy that they wanted. And this only further validates, to me at least, that George was the guy that they really wanted with pick 30. They both seem like genuine guys, practically kids if we're being honest, because they're both just 21 years old, but they're very respectful, studious, love the game, work hard, and care about their families. All of these traits show that they, Lord willing, will be class acts both on the field and off the field, and will only help take the Chiefs organization to the next level. So my question to you all is, are you excited about these picks? Did you enjoy the pressers from these guys? What stuck out to you the most? Let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to read about them. And then with the draft, Day 2, night 2, just a couple hours away, maybe even an hour away by the time this video gets out, I think the Chiefs feel they are in a pretty good place and are ready to go back at it. It looks like they're going to continue sticking to their plan of looking at their board and taking the best value that they can, pretty much no matter what position it is, aside from QB, from here on out, because they need players at basically every position. Veach said they're looking forward to the later rounds because they have been good at finding players of great value there.
You know, we have to do a lot of work on the back end, and you know, that's why the NFL is great. You know, there's a price to pay for being good, and that's less money and picks that are further down the board, and you got to maximize those opportunities, and I think we do a good job. And as much as we love Thursday, our staff loves Friday and Saturday even more. So this is when we have a lot of fun the next few days, and we're looking forward to it.
So yeah, let's go, guys. Night 2 coming up. I'm excited. I'm gonna be watching, taking notes, and prepping the next video. So make sure to sub for more daily news and updates like this, and check out this video here that I dropped late last night after round 1 ended, in case you missed it. And until next time, let's go. Let's go. How about those